Hey, welcome back to Local Media Hero. This is Module 1. You have successfully got through the introduction. Now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty and kind of explain everything and how it's going to be laid out and all that sort of stuff. So without further ado, Local Media Hero Module 1, the Local Media Hero Blueprint. Let's dig in and kind of talk about what we're going to be covering in this first session of Local Media Hero Blueprint. Essentially, how do we build this attention and recognition that we speak of, right? We all are seeking more attention, more engagement, more awareness of our businesses. We're going to be leveraging a Facebook page to do this. So what we're going to be doing is setting up a Facebook page where it's going to contain and host all of the local content, which is going to be the lifeblood of your Facebook page. We're going to be showing you how many different ways to easily source and curate engaging local content. Don't worry, you need not create all this stuff yourself, right? We're going to show you how to leverage other people's content to help fuel your page. If you like that, stick around, we've got more. We're going to fuel our new asset with attention-worthy content. We're going to keep in the back of our minds of what is really important to our local population, our local community. They're probably interested in stuff that affects them on a day-to-day basis, right? So local content is the lifeblood of your Facebook page, and we're going to show you exactly many different ways to source all of that content. So let's quickly examine what this looks like for you and your Facebook page. Essentially, you've got the fantastic 4 steps to becoming a local media hero. In step 1, we're going to be talking about this Local Media Hero Blueprint. We're going to then move into what we call the content collateral. So we're going to explain all the different sources of the content. Of course, we're going to then move into the magic growth formula. So you got to feed your page first, and then once you do that, the next step is to actually grow it, right? When you get 100 people to 500 people to 1,000 people, all the attention that you want inside your local community. Some of these pages we've built out exceed 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 people that are following this page and engaging with our content. And if that sounds like something that's attractive, we're going to show you exactly how to put the work in to do that. And of course, in step 4, once we get there, it's the perpetual payoff, right? You want that attention to feed into what is going to reward you and your business. And once you've got this, once you've got all this attention, then it's about leverage. You're going to be reaching out to local businesses. We're going to cover all that kind of stuff in the perpetual payoff. All right, so with that said, let's dig in. It's decision time. Now, the decision that you're going to need to make is you're going to need to decide where you're actually going to build this. And we believe that the best way to do this is kind of start locally to where you live, right? Where are you going to build out this asset, this attention, this Local Media Hero page that we speak of? And we have some things that you should probably consider in the back of your mind. Some things that you may want to consider, and here are some of our recommendations since we've been doing this for quite some time. We find that small to mid-sized towns and cities work extremely well. You can build out essentially attention in these small towns very, very quickly, right? And it's just an amazing way for you to position yourself and your agency. And eventually, after you perfect this, you can build out even more of these pages in other areas surrounding where you live, or areas that make sense where maybe there's a business district, or maybe it's a little bit of a larger town, right? So what we find again is these pages that we're setting up, they work extremely well to grow rapidly in small to mid-sized towns. We're talking about towns that have about 10,000 to 100,000 people in these areas. In fact, the town that I live in is just about 15,000 people. That's the exact location that I started this entire deal with, right? My town only has about 15,000 people in the local area, and I easily and quickly dominated that local area by building out one of these pages, serving up information in and around the town, around the high school, around the school system that was in that town, and of course, pulling in regional content and things that were already interesting to people that live in that local area. So let's continue here. Some other things that you may want to consider. You want to niche down your coverage location. So for example, as we were talking about kind of going down to like a 10,000 to 100,000 kind of area. If you live in a large city like Pittsburgh, Dallas, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, or something like that, most of these areas have subsections or smaller areas that are in and around the larger metro area. We recommend that you jump into an area with that probably has some businesses, has a lot of people that kind of live in that area, somewhere between that 10 to 15,000, or maybe a little bit more, 25,000, 30,000 is really a good number of people that you can probably get started with, right? If you do this, I think you're going to do extremely well. So some other things is, where are the businesses that you want to work with, right? It's not businesses that you have to work with, businesses that you want to work with. Maybe it's a small, business community. Maybe are some local businesses in and around the area that really need your help. Small mom and pop shops, maybe not big chain stores and that sort of thing, but other small town businesses, easy for you to start to work with, right? This is really, really important. So where are the businesses that you want to work with so you can connect your Facebook page, your local media hero page as you start to move forward? So guys, we're going to dig in, right? Part one, let's get started in the step-by-step process. We're going to jump over into Facebook and get started right now. Let's jump into Facebook and kind of start with this process. The very first thing that we want to do is maybe start to take a look and see what other pages may be existing, but not to be discouraged by any of those types of pages. We're going to start to look for an area that might meet our criteria and see if there's anything going on. So let's go ahead and switch over to Facebook and we'll get started taking a look and doing a little bit of research and development. All right. So here we are in Facebook, and I'm going to do a search for a town that I have in mind, not to waste a lot of time and energy, but I'm going to go in and maybe search for Lancaster, PA. All right, so here we are in Google search, and we're taking a look at the population in and around Lancaster, where this is Lancaster County itself, which is kind of a much larger area than the actual city itself, right? So let's go into Lancaster City, right, and see what happens with that in terms of population. All right, it's a little less than 500,000 people. We're looking at about 60,000 people. This is an excellent, growth opportunity for us to consider. So we're going to decide to jump in and start to create a page in and around Lancaster City. So it's a city just outside of where I live, which is just outside of Reading, Pennsylvania. And I can see right now, and I've driven through this town, and I know that there's a ton of businesses in and around this area. So I think this is a perfect location to get started. So if I take a look at this, this is a quick and easy way for us to take a look and see what kind of demographics that we're dealing with, the area code, and all that kind of stuff, right? So I'm going to go ahead and scroll through. There's all kinds of things to do. We've got hotels, we've got upcoming events. This is the start of a very good relationship for what we're trying to build here on Facebook. So we've got the city of Lancaster, we've got all kinds of sources here, city government, services, things that we're going to get into a little bit later to start to build this out. But I like to take a look and do research first to make sure that I'm going to be building into an area that's not too big and not too small, right? Maybe the city that you are searching for might have 2,000 or 3,000 people. That may or may not be worth your time and energy to build out one of these pages. So there we go. We've got something pretty good to start with. I think this is a good thing that we're going to build local media hero page around the city of Lancaster, PA. So next, what I'm going to do is kind of take a look inside of Facebook to see if, just kind of what's happening in and around the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area before I build out my page. So we've got groups. This is good, right? Lancaster, PA events, happenings, cool places, Lancaster, PA events. I can search through a little bit more and dig a little bit deeper into, we've got groups here. We've got probably have pages as well. So we've got Lancaster County, message board, yard sales, all kinds of content that are available. This is giving me a good feeling. Truly, I think this is going to be a winner already. So let's go into pages and we'll take a look and see what kind of pages are there. So we've got Lancaster PA Tourism Alliance, Narcotics Anonymous, Board and Brush Lancaster, Plato's Closet. We've got Lancaster County PA Government. I'm sure there's lots of information inside that group. NAACP, Lancaster Liquidations, all kinds of stuff. But I don't see a page in and around Lancaster for the purposes of serving news and media. So here we go. We're going to jump right in and we're going to click on the See More, scroll down. We're going to actually create a page. We'll go to Pages and then should be create a new page here. And now we're going to fill out some information here. So let's come up with a name. I think it really is a great idea just to start off with Lancaster and probably news and events. Maybe you want to brand it a little bit differently, but let's start with that. So we'll go with Lancaster Local. And we're going to say news and events. All right. And then, of course, we're going to create a category, probably news and media or entertainment. So news and media website is kind of perfect to use. I would do this or entertainment. And then we're going to give a description. So Lancaster Local News and Events is your one-stop, is your local online news, events, and online news, events, and here we go, description. We'll say, check out what's happening with Lancaster news and events. We can always go back and change the description as well. So what's happening with Lancaster, PA, news and events. All right, so now the page is created. We hit the create page and now we're basically set to go with our page. And they might ask for some more information about this category, maybe some images and that sort of thing. The next thing we want to do is kind of come up with a banner image and your bio page or this circular kind of avatar representation of what's happening. Now what we're going to do and provide to you are copies of a few Canva templates that you can get started very quickly if you're not inclined to create a banner image or something that's a profile image. So let's go over into Canva and you can kind of see that we've got some templates available for you that kind of represent something very, very quickly for this local town. You can see that we've already built in this description right here that provides kind of a backdrop of maybe any type of small town USA vibe, right? You can always come back in here and change out colors or find a cool backdrop that represents your town and that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of use this for the time being, right? So I'm going to say my, I'll just maybe even take my out of it and just put in, the name, Lancaster Local. Of course, I'm going to change the size of this down a little bit so it all fits right dead smack in the middle of our avatar here. Area, news, and events, right? So we'll do something like this. And there we go. We're pretty much set. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and download this particular page. So I have this ready for my Facebook banner as well. Click on this. We'll hit download. I'm going to download page 6. And then we're set to go with that. I'll hit done. Go ahead and hit download, and that will be ready for us. I'll just say copy of that. We'll come back into Facebook and we'll change out that image in just a second. Now what we want to do is kind of come over and change out the banner. We're going to match this for our Facebook page as well. So we're going to do something along these lines. We'll keep it black. We'll put in Lancaster Local. We'll change this out. Then we'll decrease the size a bit. That looks pretty good. So local area news and events. And we've got these icons right here looking pretty good here. We can change out the My if we want to. All right. We'll probably come back into this banner a little bit later and change this out. So we'll just change this over to Lancaster Local Banner so I know exactly where to get it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and download this. Select the number, the page, which is 7. Hit done. Now it should drop right into my desktop. I can come into Facebook, drop this right in here. This is the profile photo. Actually, I'm going to change this out. Put the profile banner in here. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Now we're going to come over here and change out the banner in just a moment. We'll hit save, cover photo. All right, so we're looking pretty good at this point. We're going to hit save, and now we've essentially have set up our Facebook page. Now this is, you can add some more information about this. To connect your Facebook page to your WhatsApp, but in the meantime, I'm not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and cancel this out. We'll hit send the code to my phone if I wanted to. Just go ahead and hit leave for the time being. And now we're pretty much set and ready to go with our page. There's some other things that you may want to do, like change out your page's identity, provide information about your business, introduce your page, and that sort of thing. So we'll continue with the page's identity and go through and start adding a little bit more information about Lancaster local area news and events. So let's jump in to where the page's identity, we've added our profile picture. We are going to be, we actually created a page's name. We may want to, at some point, once we start to get and build up the likes, to actually create a username for this particular page. It's probably going to be something like Lancaster Local or Lancaster, My Lancaster Local News and Events, or something along those lines. We've already selected our page category. We added our cover photo and our description. And now we're going to need to provide a little bit more information about this, right? So maybe there's a website that we want to include. We want to add a location. So what we want to do is actually come in and maybe do a search for Lancaster, PA, zip codes. So we have a good idea of what this is. So 17601 is probably what we're going to be using inside this page. So let's go in and change out the location info. So I'm not going to give an address per se. I'm just going to put in a location, Lancaster, PA. So 17601, I believe, is the zip code that we were using. 17601, 17601. And then hit return. Customers visit my business. We don't necessarily want to check this off. It doesn't necessarily have a page. You can click this as well, but we want to kind of give people a good idea that this is where people are going to be coming in to check out our business. So we can change this out if we want to, or just put in customers' businesses that they're going to come and visit our business if we want to. If you actually have a zip code in your local area, you can do that. This should drop a pin for us, or at least it has in the past. And then we'll just leave it as the time being. We don't necessarily have hours that we're going to be open, but maybe we'll just do 24/7. Maybe we can save and finish this later. Setting a telephone number, we recommend that if you're going to be wanting to attract people that are going to be contributing to your news and events Facebook page, that you add a telephone number. For the time being, I can kind of put in my cell phone number, although I really don't want a lot of people contacting me directly on my cell. We recommend using an app called Burner, which allows you to more or less rent a telephone number and forward that to your cell. Of course, you can link up WhatsApp if you want to. That's a great resource for you to use a third-party number to ring your mobile phone. And then you can add a connection button or an action button as well. If you want, you can click on this to find out more information. You can add an add button, which might be something like learn more. It might be book now. It might be all kinds of different information that you want to send. Maybe send an email, learn more about us. And then you're going to have to redirect them to a website. You can say sign up. We eventually like to connect a messenger bot directly through Messenger. That way they can connect with you and start to send you messages to your page. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and save without really adding a button at this point, and we will make sure that this is complete. So there you go. You basically have set up your Facebook page and you're ready to go. Super easy to do. Anybody can do it. No cost involved, but there you go. We are basically ready to go and start to fill out some information on this page, which we're going to cover in the next episode.